Hi everyone. So this whole idea of doing your makeup like you used to wear it in high school is a lot of fun. So I thought I would go ahead and show you one of the looks that I used to do when I was in high school. And digital cameras were not a thing. So I don't have a whole heck of a lot of like photo evidence of what I looked like back then, unless it's been like printed in a family album somewhere and I'd have to scan it. So I have a few photos that I can show you from my first or second year of university that kind of give you an idea of what my makeup looked back then. But obviously I wasn't taking pictures of my makeup, so everything's a little bit far away. Now I don't remember everything about what I used back in the day, but I do remember MAC. And MAC was everything for eyeshadows. And I had quite a collection of MAC, much to my mother's chagrin, I might add, because my aunt introduced me to them at age 12, and even MAC back then, when you're 12 years old, spending like 10 or 11 bucks on an eyeshadow single, it's a little bit pricey. So I really enjoyed MAC colors, and it's funny to say this now, but even back in the day, although MAC had a ton of colors compared to every other brand, they didn't have everything. I remember going up to them when I was probably like 13 and being like, I'm looking for a yellow. And they couldn't produce it. They're like, gold? I'm like, no, yellow. I want yellow eyeshadow. And they didn't have it. So it's kind of funny now because you can go to pretty much any brand in the world and you'll get a yellow eyeshadow, right? So one of the things I remember doing when I was younger was matching a lot of my eyeshadow to my clothing. So I wore a lot of blue back then, so my eyeshadow is going to match that. And you know, thinking about it now, I still have that habit of trying to match my eyes to my outfit because at least then it's cohesive. I never really understood the concept of complementary colors, so I just was like, match it and then it'll work out, right? Now, one of the things to keep in mind for me throughout high school is that I was never really sure what kind of category I fit into. I was a jock in the sense that I played a ton of soccer, so sometimes I would be very sporty. Other times I wanted to look feminine because I was really getting into Buffy the Vampire Slayer because that first aired in 1997. And I wanted to look like Buffy because she was so strong and she dressed beautifully and I love the whole knee-high boots thing. So there was like part of me that's like a bit of a jock, part of me that really enjoyed the Buffy the Vampire Slayer outfits and wanted to look like that. And then there was later on in high school when I was getting really into heavy alternative music and I wanted to look kind of grunge. So none of these things go together. You don't have sports with grunge with like pretty feminine knee-high boots. Like it's a really weird combination. So some days I would look like I was going to play sports because I was. And then some days I'd be wearing a skirt with knee-high boots. And then another day I'd be wearing like incredibly huge flared pants with like skate shoes. So it was a lot of like trying to figure out how the hell to make makeup work for all of these things, and I'm sure I had a different look for every single one. Anyway, that's a lot of talk. Let's get on to what I actually did and what I actually remember doing. So I have some of the same products that I've used back in the day. Some of them are actually from that time frame. I'll show you in a second. And then some of them are a little bit newer because I've repurchased them over time. I remember using MAC's Tilt eyeshadow a ton. This is my second pan of it because I did repurchase it from years ago, thankfully. So I was not very coordinated with makeup. I didn't know about blending. I just knew that I liked color and I was going to apply it to my face. So one of the things that I would do is I would just pick a color that would match my outfit. And since I'm wearing blue, and that was a color that I wore often, I really enjoyed the eyeshadow by MAC called Tilt. And I'm pretty sure they still make it today. This is not my original pan of this shadow. I have repurchased it because I went through an entire pan back in the day. But I would take the MAC 266 brush. Yep, 266. This is an angled liner brush. And this is the exact same brush that I used back in high school. So these puppies last. Definitely invest in your brushes because they will last forever. And I would take that on the edge of my brush and literally line my eyes. There's a ton of fallout. I don't even know how I did this because it's not even sticking on that well. And I probably didn't know about wetting my brush either. So I am literally lining the entire rim of my eye. And I can't believe how much fallout I'm getting. I definitely didn't clean this up. So did I just walk around with like blue eyeshadow underneath my eyes? I also took that blue shadow all along my lower lash line too. And I'm pretty sure I got this look from a friend. I don't think I came up with it. Okay, I gotta clean this up. It's driving me crazy. So I really just created a thick blue ring all the way around my eyes. And it's doing exactly to me what it used to do back in the day. It's transferring to my upper lid. What a mess. I don't even think eye primer was a thing back then, so you were just kind of stuck with whatever the hell you had on your eyes. Whether it transferred or not. Again, I can't believe how much fallout there is here. That's intense. Alright, once my eyes were ringed with blue, I would then take the MAC phone number eye pencil. This is a new one, but it was the same shade that I used back then. And I would actually line my lower waterline. I'm surprised I did that back then because I don't really like it now. It looks good in videos, but it's not an enjoyable thing for me to do day to day. Once that was done, I would apply a mascara to my top and bottom lashes. I don't really know what I used back then. I'm gonna guess it was CoverGirl because I seem to remember some dark red kind of squarish shaped tube. I had no brand loyalty at that point in high school, but I know that as university progressed, I started to love L'Oreal's Voluminous Mascara, and that one is still fantastic. And I definitely didn't curl my lashes either. Okay, so that is basically it. I didn't do a heck of a lot more. Definitely didn't wear foundation. Blush, bronzer, wasn't interested in that. We definitely didn't fill our brows in the 90s and early zeros. I didn't ever overpluck my brows. This is just how they naturally grew. There's not much to them. Kind of wish I'd known to fill them in back in the day. The only other thing I remember doing was if it was a special occasion or I wanted to look glittery, which was pretty frequently because I had those roll-on body glitters. But if I wanted something for my cheeks and I wanted to make them glittery, I would use MAC's Iridescent Powder in Silver Dusk. And yes, this is the first one I ever bought and it is very old. However, it's a powder and it's never caused me problems before, so I'm okay with it. They've recently discontinued this powder, which is a damn shame because it's really, really gorgeous, but it's like this pinky, maybe slightly peach powder with gorgeous shimmer in it. And I would literally wear that as a blush. I know I definitely applied way too much of this because my mom would always comment on it, but I really just like slapped it on everywhere. I just liked it because it looked like fairy dust. It's still quite pretty. Honestly, I do kind of pop it out every now and then and wear it. It smells fine to me, so I think it's okay. And I just really liked how it gave me this sort of like fairy dust kind of look. So here's the finished look. It's pretty basic. I honestly don't mind it today. It's a little bit downplayed for me. I'm personally quite surprised that I wore something on my waterline because it's not something that I wear very frequently today. And even lower lash line mascara, I find it irritating now, so I'm surprised that I dealt with it in my teens, but you know, pretty basic. Nothing's blended. I can see the shadow is transferring to my upper lids. But there you have it. That's makeup in the late 90s when we didn't have YouTube and we definitely didn't have any kind of personal instruction on makeup other than going to a MAC counter. As for other pieces of my makeup, I might have worn lip gloss back in the day. I don't think I really wore lipstick. I did have a few MAC lipsticks, but I never really felt comfortable wearing it. I felt like it was too obvious. And it's funny to me now because everybody comments on how I'm so comfortable wearing colored eyeshadow. And I am, but it's because I've been wearing it since I was like 13 years old and I just never grew out of it. I got a little bit better at blending though, that's for sure. And that's it. That's my finished high school makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I used to wear back in the day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! And as a thank you for hitting 1,000 subscribers, I currently have a giveaway going on another video, which I will link down below. Please be sure to visit to get your entries in.